Welcome to our Sri Lankan cookery course. In this video we're going to show you how to make Paripoo or Sri Lankan Dal Curry. It's a really simple curry to make and it's absolutely delicious, so I hope you enjoy making it and trying it. We've two types of lentils in the dal curry, red lentils and yellow split peas. This gives us some texture because they cook down at different rates. These will need to be soaked in water before you start cooking, so pop those in a jug or a bowl with plenty of cold water and leave them for about 30 minutes. Then we'll drain them and add them to our saucepan. Some finely chopped red onion, which will be cooked with our first masala, which is some ginger, some sliced green chilli, some sliced lemongrass, finely chopped, some rampe or pandanus leaf, cinnamon, cloves and a little turmeric. Those will simply be cooked in water, boiled in water until the lentils have softened, and then we'll add coconut milk. This is a thick coconut milk this time, and we'll tell you about the difference between thick and thin coconut milk in our on our recipe card. Some finely chopped red onion, some curry leaves and some whole red chilies which we've broken up. They form our tempering along with mustard seeds. These are basically fried in coconut oil until the onions have softened and we've got all the aromas and oils out of the spices, the leaves, the chilies and the mustard seeds, and then that will be added to the dal curry. And then we'll finally balance the seasoning with some sugar and some salt. So that's it. Let's go over to the stove. Okay, so I've placed our pre-soaked and drained lentils in our pan. We're simply going to add to that our finely chopped red onion and our masala, our first masala, so that's some garlic, some green chilli, some lemongrass, our rampe, cinnamon, cloves and turmeric. So we're going to pop all of that in together with 650 mils, I'm going to rinse the spices off there, 650 mils of cold water. Just give that a stir through and then we'll pop the heat on. And we just need to bring that to the boil. Now, you can cook this two ways. You can cook it in a saucepan like I am here, or you can do it in a pressure cooker. In a pressure cooker, it'll take 10 minutes once it's reached pressure. In a pan, depends a little bit on the lentils and everything. However, probably about 20 minutes, but we'll sort of check it as we go along. So we'll pop the lid on now and we'll wait for that to come to the boil. So as you can see, our Paripoo or dal curry mixture has come to the boil now, and so we're going to let that simmer on a low heat for around about 20 minutes. As I say, in a pressure cooker 10 minutes, around about 20 minutes. The nice thing actually about cooking it in an open pan like this is that you can keep an eye on the lentils, so you can stop the cooking when you've got them to the texture that you want. And it's nice to have a mixture, so you've got the red lentils thicken the dal, but the yellow split peas give it a little bit of bite and texture. So we'll pop the lid back on so we don't lose all our moisture, and we'll let that cook a little bit more. Okay, so our dal's been cooking for about 10 minutes now. You can see that the red lentils have broken down already, but you see that the yellow split peas, they're still quite firm. We can just give them a taste and see how they're cooking. Yeah, so they're still a little bit too firm, as I'd expect at this stage. So we'll just let that simmer on for a wee while longer. Okay, our lentils are still simmering away. They've been going about 12 minutes now. So while that's a good point to actually start our tempering procedure. So we're using coconut oil now, and as you probably know, if you bought coconut oil, it's solid at room temperature. Normally, I guess the summer that folks have had in the southern UK, it's probably been liquid. But anyway, in the north of Scotland it's mostly solid. So we're just going to melt that down, and then once that's melted down and heated through, we'll add our the ingredients of our second masala, which we'll use to temper the dal when it's done. So our coconut oil has melted down nicely now, and you can hear that starting to sizzle a little bit. So we're going to pop our mustard seeds in. Okay, so our mustard seeds are just popping now. That's important so that they don't add a bitter flavour to the curry. And at this stage now we can add our red onions, our chilli and curry leaves, and we'll let those sizzle away, flavour the oil, and this will be our tempering mixture for our dal. Okay, so our dal's been simmering away there for about 16 to 18 minutes, and it's looking good. The red lentils are broken down nicely, and we've still got some texture there with our yellow lentils. We actually like them quite nutty. If you don't like that, you can just carry on cooking it for a few more minutes, but that looks good. Now, next thing that we're going to do is add some salt, actually. Now, this was a tip that we picked up from our friends in Sri Lanka, and that is, when you want to make a dal, add the salt after, otherwise it takes long to cook, to make the lentils soft. And it really does, because we've tried it both ways. I wonder if it's because the salt perhaps draws moisture out of the lentils as they cook. I don't know. But anyway, so we've added our salt, stir that through, and then we'll add our coconut milk. So this is a thick coconut milk. We've made that with coconut milk powder. You could actually use coconut milk straight out of a tin for this recipe, because that's essentially what you're getting a tin. So that's our coconut milk stirred through. On our stove too, we have our tempering mixture. So we'll just bring that over now. So here's our onions, chilies, curry leaves in mustard seeds in that lovely coconut oil. So we'll pop that into our Paripoo and stir that through. Critical having this tempering mixture, it really adds that flavour through. And I find too, a half a teaspoon of sugar brings out the coconut flavour, so we'll pop that in at this stage too, and then we'll just give it a wee taste. So that's looking super. Excellent. The only thing I would do is add a tiny little bit more salt. Call it a scant half teaspoon, so it's somewhere between half a teaspoon and a quarter of a teaspoon. But of course that's to your own taste. So, one last taste to make sure that our seasoning is spot on. And it is. I can't get over how wonderful and delicious this simple curry is, so I really hope you try it, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Sri Lankan Dal Curry, or Paripoo.